still got her beauty, her booty, and her bank account. So bye, boy, to him.
I know what they say about me, about hopeless romantics, that we're weak.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. So guys, we are obviously going to be talking about the Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez divorce, okay? So for some people didn't even know that they were back together, which is beyond me, right? And I can completely understand. But Jennifer Lopez, as we already know, she started off as a fly girl on In Living Color, singer, actress, Ben Affleck, actor, of course, and Batman. But, you know, Jennifer Lopez has been engaged a total of 6 times, and she has been married a total of 4 times. And 2 of those engagements come from this man who was standing right next to her, actor Ben Affleck. So recently, Jennifer Lopez actually ended up doing a whole movie. Okay, and in this movie that she released on Amazon Prime, which I watched, okay, let me just preface this by saying, just so you guys know that I am not biased and I don't have biased conversations. Like, I am a Jennifer Lopez, like, whether it's actress, singer, or whatever the case is, like, I can say that I am a J-Lo fan, okay? I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, when it comes to romantic comedies and chick flick movies, like, I am your girl. I've seen every romantic comedy, every chick flick there is. Like, that is just my jam. I love it. I love Made in Manhattan. I love Enough. Like, I love it, right? So when J-Lo came out with this movie, which it's so ironic that it came out this year, you know, in that movie, it was all about her love life, her love stories, and her rekindling her love flame with actor Ben Affleck.
On that first day, I showed everybody this book. This book is a book that Ben gave me on our first Christmas back together. It is every letter and every email that we wrote to each other.
Within that movie, you know, J-Lo basically talked about all of the situations that she was in. And, you know, I'm going to be very honest with you. For the moral of the story that I got from it when I watched it, a lot of people hated it. A lot of people said it was terrible. I watched it. I didn't find anything wrong with it. I thought of it just as a creative way of storytelling. I'm just being really honest with you guys. In that movie, in the entire breakdown, you know, J-Lo was having the conversation of basically saying, like, you know, all of the things that I went through, all the turmoil, all of the bad decisions, all of the bad relationships that I went through, you know, I would have done it again because it led me to this man.
My love came in, Ben came in, and he got down on one knee, and he said some things that I'll never forget. And he pulled out a ring, and he said, "Will you marry me?" And he said, "It's a green diamond, my favorite color. It's also my lucky color. It's not often you get a second chance at true love."
In the movie, she talked about, like, you know, she went to therapy. She went to, like, a spiritual guide. Like, she went to all of these people because she calls herself a hopeless romantic, right? Like, she's one of those women who love love, who love the idea of love, who love the thought of being in love. And, you know, all of her relationships that are, you know, long-term obviously escalate to the space of marriage. And if it doesn't work out, you know, she divorces, or, you know, they divorce, or whatever the case is, and the relationship ends, and she goes back on her journey to find, you know, new love, fresh love, and to be, again, in that hopeless romantic space.
I know what they say about me, about hopeless romantics, that we're weak. And I'm not weak. It takes strength to keep believing in something after you keep falling flat on your face.
Now, again, I have to be honest with you guys, you know, at some point, and again, this is why I say I'm not biased. And when I have these conversations, it is never about the person in which I'm talking about, right? Like, it's always about having a deeper conversation, a deeper rooted conversation for a lot of the other women out there who are in certain predicaments, who look at certain situations and feel like the only way to solve their issues within their marriages is to get a divorce and go try to find somebody else. Right? So this is an alternative way of thinking of, well, maybe there's a possibility that you can actually fix things. Maybe you can, you know, look inside of you and see if there's something that you're doing that's wrong. Right? Which obviously is where I'm heading in this conversation, talking about J-Lo. Okay, as beautiful as J-Lo is at her age, as fit and tone and all those things. We have to be honest. At some point, you have to look in the mirror. At some point. Because if you have been engaged 6 times, we'll call it 5, right? Because she was engaged to Ben Affleck twice. So we'll call it 5 times. You've been engaged 5 times and married 4. These are different people that you are interacting with. These are different people that you are in a relationship with. Now, either your picker is broken, you need to take it back to the factory and have somebody else mend it and fix it for you because your picker is so broken. And that still puts the blame right back on you because there's something in you that is connecting to people that are not aligning with you, that you are able to make it work for the long term. Or it is in fact that you, have a certain issue or a certain problem and you are unable to be honest enough with yourself to look in the mirror and say, there are things inside that I genuinely need to change, to fix, to solve, to regulate so that I can be the best, partner for my spouse. That is just the truth. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way to go around it. That is the honest truth. And I feel as though a lot of women have a very hard time looking in the mirror and saying, girl, it's you. Girl, you the problem. Okay, that little attitude thing I got, I need to fix it. Okay, that disrespectful tone, I need to check it. Okay, the way I answer him back and I have to have the last word in a disagreement, I need to nip that in the bud. A lot of women genuinely victimize themselves in situations because women are so commonly coddled that women tend to coddle themselves.
But she still got her beauty, her booty, and her bank account, so bye boy to him.
Now, I'm going to be honest. I do not feel, this is just my opinion, that she intended on this relationship not working out. And the reason why is because when she released that movie, a lot of people did not want to, take the movie up. They did not want to fund the movie. She had to come out of her pocket to pay for the entire film. And I don't even believe that she broke even. Okay, I'm just being honest. I don't believe so.
Who's paying for this? I guess me.
So it would be difficult to assume that she really genuinely did not believe that this relationship would actually, not work out based off of the fact that she created an album behind it. And again, a movie about her whole entire love story that led her back to Ben Affleck. It would be very hard to convince me that maybe she really thought that this relationship wasn't going to work and she just did all this stuff and humiliated herself for no reason.
I don't entirely know why, but I feel invested in you and Ben. I really want this to work. However, this is my concern. It feels too much like you're trying to prove something instead of just living it.
Unfortunately, though, recently in the media, besides, the criticism that J-Lo got after releasing that film and people saying that it was terrible, besides people making memes about the fact when she was talking about being a girl in the Bronx, a little crazy girl, and she talked about orange drink and people on TikTok having their way with that.
Taking my hair out like this, it reminds me when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block, a crazy little girl.
Besides all of those things, J-Lo had received a lot of backlash based off of her demeanor and her attitude that she has when she is outside, whether it's working on a film with somebody else, whether it is, other actresses that are maybe not necessarily on her level that she interacts with, whether it is fans on the street, whether it is paparazzi, whoever it is. A lot of people have been talking about her negative or nasty attitude that she carries around. And a lot of people believed from months ago, I believe, when they were even at the Grammys, that this relationship was not going to work out in her favor.
J-Lo bashing because she's crazy, talented. Right. Thought right at the upfronts. It's me and Danny DeVito. So I go over there and I'm like, what's up, girl? Shoot, man, what is going on? She's like, hi. So what's going on? What's going on? Just get some little carrot dip.
What are you wearing tonight?
I got no, mom. No, mom. It wasn't the actual devil. No, they were just dressed as the devil, mom. They're not. Yeah.
Now I think that it's very important we can't mention the fact that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck got together without mentioning the fact that whenever Ben and J-Lo actually broke up, he actually got married to actress Jennifer Garner, in whom he had a very long relationship with, as well as 2 children. Now, there had been speculation that Ben Affleck had a lot of trouble with his sobriety when he was married to Jennifer Garner, and that was one of the reasons, or one of the biggest parts to play in the demise of his marriage with her. But a lot of people noted that every time that Ben Affleck got around his ex Jen Garner, he was all smiles. You could see the smiling in his eyes before you even saw it on his face. And when he is with his now wife, well, soon to be ex-wife, Jennifer Lopez, that there was no smile, no smirk, no happiness. He was just a miserable man.
Another version of me. I was in it.
This is skinny. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez.
Now, there was a lot of people who were speculating on the fact that maybe Ben felt like he made a mistake in spinning the block, and maybe he should have taken that time to just work on himself and then work on his marriage with Jen Garner. Like, a lot of people were saying a lot of different things. And of course, right now it's up in the air. It's all speculation. But based off of the way in which the 2 of them have been interacting with one another, it would lead one to believe that, her possibly filing for divorce was more of a save face move, because it seemed as though he had already, stepped out and broken up from the relationship, but he just did not want to, go, to the court system and have it on paper that he's the one that left her. Again, after she released this album, this movie, glorifying the relationship that the 2 of them actually had.
His date of separation is April 26th, just 2 months after the film's release. Interestingly, their first breakup was 5 months after their big screen flop, Gigli, hit theaters.
Now, bringing this conversation back full circle, I have to say that it is important that a lot of women understand that it is, it's essential that you take notes of the things that go wrong in your relationships prior, so that you know the things that you are not going to perpetuate or redo all over again, right? You don't want to be a woman who is in a space that either, like I said, either the picker is throw the picker away. Like, at this point, just take the picker and bend it over your knee and just throw it away, right? Go get a new one. And the only way to get a new one, a new picker, which is, finding a better spouse or aligning with a better spouse, is doing the work within yourself. It's so essential. It's so important. You cannot attract something that is not what you are, right? Like, you can only attract what you are and what you resonate at. If you feel like every partner that you are getting into a relationship with is selfish, you might be a little selfish. If you feel like every partner that you get into a relationship with is toxic, you might be a little toxic, or you might like toxicity. But overall, it is important to find out what's going on with you, fix you. And sometimes it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to throw in the towel just because the going gets tough and figures that you'll do it again. Sometimes it's doing the work within the situation. You see, relationships, like romantic relationships, in my personal opinion, are the only relationships that reveal the innermost workings of you to you. Only if you are willing to see it. Only if you are willing to put the work in. Only if you are willing to change and evolve and grow. Only if you're willing. And again, I think, there's a lot of people get to certain peaks in the relationship, and right when you feel like you could throw in the towel, if you just put in work in that stage, you will come out and be like, wow, I get it. Wow, this is a new version of myself that I didn't even know existed, because I was willing to evolve. I was willing to accept the criticism. I was willing to change.
My mom was narcissist, center of attention, life of the party type person. I got very used to being around people like that. The combination of the 2 of those things set me on a course to be with those type of people.
Now, again, I know some people gonna be, oh, well, you don't know what happened. Of course I don't. Right? Like, we all don't know what happened, but what we do know is that she's been engaged 6 times and married 4. That's what we do know. And what we also know is that there's a common theme within that situation, and it's her. Again, I have to say this is no bias. And again, this is no bias. When I have these conversations, I'm talking again so other women can hear. Because there's other women who are in spaces who are on the brink of ruining their own relationships, always thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And what do I always say? Ain't no grass. Fix it. Fix it with you. Figure out what's going on with you and try to fix your relationship if it's worth saving. Most of the time, you know, a lot of women throw in the towel and it is worth saving. Another thing that I wanted to talk about too was that one thing that I find is that you have a lot of these women, right, who will say, you know, I'm not going to be no long-term girlfriend. If you want to be with me, you know, you got to marry me. Oh, you know, I'm not just going to be here, you know, hanging out. If you're going to be serious with me, you know, if you're going to be serious with me, you got to marry me. Like, there's a lot of women that come to the conversations with that kind of mindset, right? And I get it. Like, a lot of women don't want their time to be played with. They don't want to just be hanging around or hoping on a wish or, you know, building with somebody that they don't know is going to end up going somewhere. I completely understand that mindset, right? However, one thing that I find is that a lot of women treat marriages like dating relationships, right? Because I feel like you can just walk in, sign a paper, you could just walk out and sign another paper. A lot of women treat marriages like that. And what they don't realize is that, you know, when a man is seeing you and is wanting to invest in you, if the fact that you are going through all these ebbs and flows and marrying and divorcing, it just sends certain signals that you are not willing to work through the hard stuff. It just sends signals that when the going gets tough, you're out of there. And I think that should be a lesson to a lot of women who talk about, oh, you know, you got to marry me. You got to propose to me. At least, you know, I got to see something. Sometimes you need to just learn that person. Sometimes, you know, if you are out there and you're getting to know somebody, you just need to be in that space of getting to know somebody. Not every single person you meet is going to be your husband. You have to find out, what do they call it? The vetting process. You need to find out what this person's like, you know, what their values are, what their morals are, how they align themselves. How do they see themselves, you know, in the future? Does that align with the lifestyle that you look like, you know, you would want to have in the future? What are their long-term goals, their short-term goals? What is their spirituality like? Like, you have to find out these things before jumping in head first, just because you want to be married, because you don't want nobody to think that you playing games.
How you feeling?
I feel I'm so excited. And that's why, you know, in my personal opinion, I never agreed with, oh, you have to be with this person for 6 months and marry them within a year or marry them within a couple months. You need to know somebody. Okay? People crazy. I'm just being real. People are crazy. You need to see how people act when they're upset, when they're sad, when they're going through things, when they're going through hard times, hardships. You need to see somebody through the ebbs and flow to really grasp who they are as a whole. You need the time to figure that out, because people can talk a good game in a short period of time to get to a certain end goal. And this goes for both sides of the conversation. A lot of women, they're the ones who push marriage. And again, I always say, they're always the first ones to run when the going gets tough.
Jennifer Lopez has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck amid months of rumors the pair have split.
I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.